I appreciate you coming in. It means a lot to me that you've been able to make the time to be a part of this project. So, how have you been?
People always ask me that question. But you know, since all this happened, that's my least favorite thing for people to ask me. Because it's the constant reminder that I still feel like shit. Most people are uncomfortable talking about death, including me. They say death is an inevitable part of life, that this grief is natural. There's nothing natural about outliving your kids. And to be honest, there isn't a day that goes by where I wished I died first. Every morning when I wake up, I ask myself, when is this sadness ever gonna stop? I wanna forget. I thought you were coming home later. Is everything all right? Something happened with Jack?
Nah, Dad. I don't feel well is all.
Well, I knew there was something going around. Well, look, I gotta head out for a urgent problem with a client all the way out in Simcoe. There's a framing issue they need me to look at. I'll be gone a few days.
Do you have to go? You know what? It's fine. Forget I said anything. I'll wait for you to come back. I hope it all
Well, I
goes
can
well.
come back sooner. I'll move things up on my schedule.
No, Dad. I'll be fine.
All right. Well, there's leftovers in the fridge if you get hungry. All right?
Right.
How long have you known?
I just found out.
Laina, please calm down. Look, I'm scared too. Shit, taking care of a baby is hard, but we're gonna get through it. We can...
No. That's not it, Jack. I don't know how else to say this, but I don't want to keep it. I knew that I had to be decent and at least tell you in person. I'm too young. We can't raise a kid, Jack. I have a doctor's appointment next week for a medical abortion.
As a dad going through this, I had a lot of questions. I didn't know what septic shock was until it happened to her. And there's still a lot of questions left unanswered. Questions I wish I could ask her. Questions I'll have to get answered another way.
You know, I had it all planned out. My next 3 years, I mean. I knew what I was gonna study. I was gonna go to grad school, and I wanted to travel. And then all of a sudden, I went from clear plans to not being able to see the next moment. All of a sudden, I just couldn't breathe.
I should have stayed home. I saw it in your eyes. But I thought everything was gonna be okay. I worked too much. If I stayed, you'd still be here today. God, you must have felt alone.
When I went to the ER that night and I told them about my symptoms after I took the pill, they said it was normal. They sent me home. They gave me a Tylenol. They gave me a Tylenol and they sent me home. The fact is, I'd probably still be here.
I'm so sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
Please don't blame yourself. I never did. I never blamed you, Dad.
Are there a lot of fathers out there like me? You know, it's not every day you hear about a dad with an abortion story.
Since I've started this project, I've found out there have been 8 deaths. 8 deaths in the last 2 years. There are enough that it's worth an investigation. There's certainly enough for a class action lawsuit. But you know, it's not everybody that chose to be here. It was too much for some families. And others, well, they made agreements. They couldn't be here. With some families not even reporting to the FDA and the drug company delaying the reports, it's like the problem doesn't exist. But we know what's happening. We know it's there. Laina should have never been turned away like that. The drug maker, the hospital, they were negligent. And people should know that.
When I went back to the emergency room after she died, the doctors said that they didn't know these symptoms were potential issues. So they didn't think to investigate further.
Do you believe that?
I think that was only part of it. But to be really honest, I think that because of the politics, it was just the easier thing to do. I'm grateful, Wendy, that you found me, so I could tell this story.
You were a hard man to find. But I'm glad you changed your mind.
Laina would have been proud.
Before we end this, do you have any last remarks? Anything else you would like to say?
You know, losing Laina, it's left behind a lot of pain. But as much as we hate to say it, tragedies like this, they allow people to see a situation from a whole different perspective. We all have purpose in life. It may not be exactly what we hoped, but it's up to us to choose what we do with what we've been given. For my daughter, Laina, for all the women like her, This is how I choose to remember you.